She hasn't made up her mind. She still wants the king.
She still wants the. I was just going to say she still wants the clock. Good afternoon once again. I'm Johnny G. I am with Robert Kalumba from the Monitor newspaper here in Kampala. He writes a column called Common Sense. And I was struck by a recent column that he did called Why Stay in a Dysfunctional Marriage? It does seem that many people here in Uganda who do get married end up staying in what you're calling essentially a dysfunctional marriage.
Yeah, well, you know, Uganda essentially is we like to call ourselves very religious. We like to call ourselves people with culture, and according to Nevada Commons, religion and culture, a man is supposed to have one woman. That's according to our religion and culture.
Right.
Okay, Christian religion and culture.
Yeah.
But you'll be so shocked at the very many men out there with very many women outside their marriages, and the shocking bit is that their wives actually know about these women, but because of 1,000,001 reasons, they decide to end the marriage.
That's why I came to Africa, because I knew I'd be more accepted living that kind of lifestyle here.
Yeah, you're very at home.
People ask me why I've come here, and I have always avoided the question. It's finally coming out. I'm very much at home. But you say dysfunctional marriages limp on for decades. Is that true?
Yeah. The link on. There's a lady. After I wrote that article, there's a lady who called me up. I don't know how she got my number, and she told me that she has been in the marriage for 11 years, and the husband has kids outside the marriage, and she knows about the kids. The husband comes back drunk from the nightclub, and always tells the woman to open up. When she refuses, the guy kicks the door in. So I asked her, why don't you bloody leave? She gave me all reasons that we have children with this, or what would my relatives think about this? You know, in our society, women are at such a disadvantage. You understand?
Yes.
They cannot leave a marriage because the grandparents and the whole clan will always challenge her. They will say, look, we suffered the same. We never left. Who are you? You hang in there. You keep going.
So after this piece came out, you became somewhat of a marriage counselor, unexpectedly.
Yeah, I'm going to start charging people, actually.
Yeah, you should. You're like the new Oprah, right?
Yeah.
Do you think Uganda would be better off if fewer people were getting married in the first place, or if they were getting married and not happy if they chose to get divorced? Are we putting too much emphasis on getting married and staying in marriage?
Uganda would be, in relation to marriage, Uganda would be better off if the hypocrisy was kept. I wish there was less hypocrisy, you know.
But isn't there hypocrisy partly because people are entering unnatural arrangements, and nature, that natural instinct of man or woman, eventually comes calling and is in conflict with that societal status quo of the institution called marriage?
Yeah, you're very correct. You find a young man, he's left university, he's trying to look for a job and stuff, but there's this thing from society whispering very loudly to him that you have to get married. You have to get married. You understand? The first woman.
That's this head speaking, but then there's another head speaking that's looking around at the nightclubs and so forth.
Thank you very much. He goes to the mother. The mother says, look, the mother doesn't even want to care whether he has a job or not. When are you bringing for us a woman to get married? Like you're getting old. This guy is like 24. You're getting old. Can you imagine? So he enters marriage just because, like he's being pushed, but he's not yet ready for marriage.
A lot of people, it seems, they are doing it in the name of God. If their marriage is on the rocks, they seem to turn the relationship over to God. You just spoke about how in the West sometimes they turn it over to marriage counselors. Here it's, let's pray that things get better, or I'm marrying this person because it's my destiny, only to find out 10 or 15 years later, it looks a little less like destiny. Is God kind of getting in the way of making a rational choice?
Yes, you know, like I told you that we like calling ourselves religious people. That's in inverted commas. We're really fucked up, but we like calling ourselves religious people and stuff like that. And in marriage, again, it comes down to my topic of hypocrisy. In marriage, we always have this thing that, oh, God is the one who sent me to you. I would never have met you if it wasn't God who did this. When the husband sleeps out late, she kneels down and prays. I know God will take me out of this. There's that the huge reliance on God, and I'm a Christian. I don't want to bash God and stuff. But let's get real here. If you have marriage problems, the best thing to do is try and work them out. If you can't work them out, try marriage counseling. There's a procedure. You understand? But one thing I'm 100% sure is that I don't want to be bashed by pastors when I'm walking down Kampala Road. But one thing I'm 100% sure is that if you have issues, kneeling down and praying with hands up, like, oh God, that will not really. You understand?
It's just like it won't fix a pothole, and it won't fix corruption.
Yeah, thank you. And then even if you went to church and you talk to a pastor about God, that same pastor, and that's the hypocrisy in our society, that same pastor will actually make a move on you. I've had stories of pastors actually sleeping with married women who go to them seeking for counsel, and the man sleeps. You understand?
I do.
Yeah.
And you had also pointed out that when someone goes to a church to address the problem, his pastor will point out all kinds of verses in the Bible that make it a sin to leave the wife.
Did you know that in some churches in Uganda, a divorced man is not allowed to pray, is not allowed to come to church? They actually...
but corrupt ministers are still allowed to come. They don't get the contradiction.
And that's the hypocrisy, you understand? I know of an uncle of mine, he had issues with in his marriage and decided to leave, and he got himself another woman. Something very logical to do. He had issues, but this guy, he was refused, so he used to always sit in the back pew, so that the head of the church doesn't see him.
And then he could eye all the prospective women as well.
So you can see the church. You understand? We have a whooped up understanding about Christianity and marriage. And I really want even to touch on this thing. You understand? We have a whooped up understanding on Christianity and marriage. We seem to think that if I divorce you, oh God will punish me. God doesn't allow this, and that's how we're trained to believe. They tell us that
whereby life is punishing you when you're sticking in a marriage that isn't working. So take your choice, folks. You let life punish you or let God punish you.
So we're told that the vows you make in church, you should never break them. If you break them, or you're disobeying the Lord. You get this. It gets very tricky for most of us.
Do you think one reason for marriages falling apart is that women are demanding too much, or is it something deeper or different than that?
Women are not demanding too much. Okay, partly women could demand too much. For me, I think the main reason is that we simply do not know what we're getting into. Full stop. You understand? Because there are issues like women demanding too much. There are issues like money.
A traditionalist, though, would argue that women should stop asking for too much and just accept the situation and the partner as is. But they've got the wrong take on all of this?
Me, I believe the problem is going into this thing when you're not ready. It's now fashionable for these young girls when they leave university to get married. They do not understand. They don't have a clue about marriage. 2 years down the line, she's sleeping with the whole office, despite the fact she's married. You understand? So me, I strongly believe that among the very many reasons, women demanding too much. You know, our women, Ugandan women are a little bit crazy also.
Are they?
Oh man, they're nuts. If you have a Ugandan woman, you're in for...
I didn't know.
Oh my, Jesus Christ.
I'm joking.
They're crazy. So among the very many reasons, me, I strongly believe that they do not understand what marriage is all about.
The pop, this reminds me of something the pop dinosaur Rod Stewart had said. I think he's been married about 3 or 4 times. He swears in his most recent marriage that he is very happy. And he was asked by an interviewer, do you have any advice for people seeking marriage? And he says, yes, don't marry a woman before they turn 30. And it sort of struck me as an interesting way of looking at it, particularly because he's been married 3 or 4 times and has seen a number of marriages fail. But secondly, it just made me realize, what he's trying to get at is a woman by the age of 30 actually knows herself.
She's a bit mature. She now understands. She has a better grasp of life than the 23.
I know, on a personal note, are you married? I'm not seeing a ring on your finger.
Yes, I'm actually married.
Okay.
My ring, it's not a joke, by the way, but yeah.
You lost it.
Yeah, I lost it. I was in the nightclub, and personally, let me tell you one thing people don't know. This is just a secret. Is that most topics I've touched on in marriage, I've experienced. You know,
I was wondering that when I was reading the piece. Does he know this by experience?
Yeah, I met my wife in London. We were very young couple. We came down here, and I remember all these things that I talk about the pressures of getting married.
You felt it. You went through it.
Yeah, about this. I never forget the father the father pastor he was a big man in government. He was a major general. So I'll never forget that when I went for the introduction of these people. I really felt intimidated. I kept telling myself, shit, I'm in fucking shit here. And my wife, to maintain that class, you know, she has sisters. You really get me. So she was pushing me for the money. So I used to. That's when I said, understand that, my God, Rod Stewart is right. We were young. I said to myself, my God, this guy is young. Oh my God, I did a mistake. Oh my God, I did this. I'm not actually ready to get married. They're very, very pretty women. All these things are playing out. You get me?
I know.
Yeah, but thankfully, we have managed to inverted commas, limp along, and the limp is getting better.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the limp is getting better.
Wonderful. What did your wife have to say when you told her you lost the ring at a nightclub?
I'll not forget that day. You know, she's like I told you, the father was in security. So she grew up with men around her. So she's a psycho. She's a weirdo. She can tell you're lying. She's dangerous, my God. So she just looked at me and told me, because I remember telling me that, I was in a traffic jam, I was playing with the ring, and accidentally.
She said, no, you weren't. You were at this nightclub at this time on this day.
Actually, she didn't do it that way. She told me, fuck you, get out of my house. And I'm like, Jesus. So she kept pressurizing me until I told her the truth that, look, I was in the club, I put the ring in the wallet because people wanted to meet and they don't like married men and stuff like that. And I was drunk and they stole the wallet.
And this was the honest story?
Yeah, and the ring was in the wallet. So they stole the fucking wallet. So there you go. Yeah.